organizations and individuals started playing their parts by working on solutions that would aid in containing the spread of the virus. Robots were developed to avoid physical contact in health centers. Data portals with COVID-19 statistics and awareness materials were developed overnight. Swab collection centers were custom designed. Drones were deployed for surveillance. Innovators across the country self-organized themselves proactively to contribute however they could. A COVID crisis management committee was formed by the government with sector experts to strategically counter the crisis. However, questions like who is doing what and where remain difficult to answer. Innovations had to be identified by the solution type, status of the solution, geography, practicability, and scalability. To solve this, the Nepal Academy of Science and Technology, in partnership with the Asia Foundation, Robotics Association of Nepal, and NACSA, envisioned the National Innovation Digital Network. The first goal of the network was to identify innovations against COVID-19 and develop a digital archive of their status, effectiveness, and geographic coverage. NIDN started off as an initiative to bring together innovators, industry, government, and non-government organizations to create a platform for cross-learning, support, and growth. This included a digital platform that mapped innovations and a series of InnoTalks where innovators problems, solutions, and innovation ecosystem in general. Beyond the COVID pandemic, NIDN has been open to all kinds of innovations in the country. From digital solutions engaging artificial intelligence and machine learning to physical solutions to contemporary problems, innovators of all kinds and scales have registered in the platform. The NIDN team conducted innovation exhibitions across all provinces in the country and onboarded innovators who are working in remote locations and silos. A dialect on the need for an innovation culture and support system across all sectors and geographies was started. As an effort to mainstream innovation at federal, provincial, as well as local levels of governance, NIDN organizes InnoTalks that focus on strategies and policies to identify, encourage, support, and scale up innovations. The digital portal allows industries and organizations to enlist their grants and call for solutions. Investors can find innovators and the technologies to invest in. The government can seek appropriate solutions to the problems it aims to solve. Innovators can explore potential support systems, network, partner with other innovations, and make the impact they intend to. Further, NIDN will continue to improvise its digital platform and InnoTalk series, praise innovators and industries, liaise for policies to foster an innovation culture, and help innovators throughout their journeys of creating impactful innovations.
Thank you, and that was some of my job. That was my voice actually. So I'd like to start my presentation now. So with that background, with some sense of what NIDN, the National Innovation Digital Network is and what we're doing, I'd like to start next. Okay, so NIDN, the portal, it's a digital platform that was developed during the COVID period, but is now not just limited to COVID-related innovations. It's a digital platform, is accessible to everyone. The motive is to connect innovators with the industry and also provide support systems to people trying to innovate in their sectors. But like fostering innovations and empowering innovators needs some explorations. We need to find where the innovators are. We need to identify and curate them to some extent. And we need to connect them to the industry and support systems. And that needs a lot of piloting and scaling up works. So that's the overall target of the National Innovation Digital Network. Not just the technical system, but also in other activities that we're doing, including this conference. So what does it mean? How do we do that? We find out where innovations are across the country. We make innovators register themselves into the portal. We map their geographic locations, their areas of impact, where they are working, or it can be nationwide or international as well. We try to find out support systems. We support them with knowledge base and research and development that NAST has a strong backing in. And we help them launch and scale and pilot their solutions to make a bigger impact. That is the overall motive of the network, not just the digital system, but we also realize that it's not just about a digital system, it's also a lot of talking that needs to be done. So we talk about innovation. We have Talks, Nava Pravartan Kakura, that we organize a lot. We also explore for innovators. We head out to provinces and maybe moving forward municipalities as well and find innovators. And we liaise for policy changes as well. So this is the overall motive and the way we work at the NIDN. But if we look at what we've done so far, we have about 60 to 70 innovators listed in our platform. And this is the geographic disaggregation of the number of innovators. And you can see the province with the most number of innovations is Bagmati, obviously. And we realize that accessibility and connectivity play a vital role in creating the innovative ecosystem. There is also a need to explore, talk, and support innovators more proactively. It won't just happen. And we also realize that local problems need local solutions, and local governments who are the major executive body now, they will have a big role in fostering innovations. Municipal level idea banks should be prioritized moving forward. So this is some glimpses of the provincial level innovation exhibitions that we conducted. Last year, we went out to all the provinces and invited the local innovators to present their innovations. We have registered them in our platform as well, and we are working with them continuously in providing the support system they require in order to scale their products. Talk, we have conducted 8 Talks so far. This is the 9th, if we call it, but this is the first innovation conference. So we'll continue with our 9th Talk after this conference. But this is all about discussing the needs, actually. So how can we enable the environment for innovations moving forward? How can NIDN do its work? And how can the rest of the stakeholders, private companies, government, NGOs, how can they play their parts? Moving forward, at NIDN, we have a few plans. So the first one is to actually open innovation grants through the portal. So if innovators register themselves into the portal, what are they getting directly? So we will be providing them with the information on what the opportunities have come, and that will include innovation grants. The first will be the NAST Innovation Grant, and we'll also be working with other stakeholders to open their call for solutions or call for proposals through the portal. We'll also be working with municipalities to create the municipal data banks, idea banks in the portal, and that will help us get a lot of innovators that are working at the local level in the platform. And the other thing that we plan on is to visualize the National Innovation Index. Nepal is ranked, I think, 105th in the world, and degraded from 95 last year. So we don't know that, and that needs to be visualized, and a lot of people have to know that, where we stand. And so the NIDN will do that. And we'll also be working on technical enhancements as well as outreach and exploration that we have been doing. And we will also be building a lot of partnerships, collaborations, and support systems will be brought into the system. To get on board as innovators, you will have to register your innovation into the portal. You can seek support and get exposure from there. As organizations, you can call for innovations. If you are supporting innovators, you can explore what kind of innovations there are in the platform and you can support. And also, as individuals, if you are trying to innovate but haven't found the right partners, you can find innovators that are like-minded. And also, you can freely talk about innovation, which we do in our talks. So thank you very much. I hope you'll have a great day today. There are a lot of good sessions after this. This is probably the last organizer-focused session. After this, you'll have a lot of panel discussions and lightning talks. So thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you so much, Arun. And earlier, apologies, I said Noxa App and is your company. Apologies for that. It's a fantastic day for me to sit and learn as well throughout the day, so I'm really excited to go ahead and sit and learn and soak in a lot of information throughout the day, so I'm really excited for that. It's a pleasure to invite up on the podium President and CEO of the Asia Foundation. Please put your hands together and help me welcome David T. Arnold.
Well, thank you very much. Honorable Minister of Science, Information and Technology, Mr. Sushir Kamal, the Honorable Secretary of the Ministry, Dr. Pramila Devi Bhattacharya, Secretary of NAST, Dr. Mahesh Kumar Adhikari, our distinguished keynote speaker, Mr. Oliver Tian, policymakers, academicians, innovators, international development specialists, welcome to this conference. For me, it's an enormous pleasure to be a part of this first National Innovation Conference, a first gathering of people from different sectors that share a common interest and passion for advancing the innovation agenda for Nepal. In being part of the first conference, I have enormous confidence that this will not be the last conference. This will be, I hope, become an annual event and something that brings together people that have that shared interest and passion for innovation and technology here in Nepal. So we think about the agenda for innovation. It seems to me that the innovation ecosystem that we've talked about and alluded to, other speakers have mentioned, has at least 4 major elements to it. And those elements involve different actors and different players from different sectors. A major element of that is creating the enabling environment for innovation. And here government has a critical role to play, not only in supporting basic science and research, but also facilitating new technologies, startups, providing incentives and encouraging investment in emerging technologies, and helping to create networks and link innovators, entrepreneurs, and industry in ways that will translate into the economic benefits that technology and innovation have to offer for emerging economies such as Nepal. Second critical element is access to technology, and here a country like Nepal faces particular challenges. We learned yesterday, for example, in speaking with a team of our colleagues working on creating access to digital children's books, a digital library of local language children's books, that one of the barriers Nepal faces is that only the internet penetration rate here is only about 38%. So large swaths of the country really don't have access even to basic literacy materials that are available in local languages for children. So the issue of access to advanced technology, whether cloud computing and big data, genetic engineering, drones and robotics, fintech, blockchain, to use some of the phrases, vocabulary of this sector, is something that countries like Nepal really need to concentrate on and find solutions to help make access more widely available. Third is really the dangers of the so-called digital divide, the technology haves and have-nots. And this is particularly for Nepal and other developing nations a special challenge. How do you ensure that the benefits of innovation and technology development are widely shared, and that this becomes part of an agenda for inclusive growth and development, and not something that simply widens existing social, economic, and other inequalities. And fourth is the human capital dimension. We've alluded to the importance of creating innovators right from early elementary through university. But access to STEM education, particularly for women, digital skills and digital literacy, entrepreneurship skills, all of these are part of the human dimension, which I think is one of the most important elements of the innovation ecosystem that we're trying to nurture and support. A few words about the Asia Foundation. We are a 70-year-old organization. We operate in 18 countries across Asia and the Pacific. And our focus is really on improving lives and expanding opportunities in a dynamic and developing Asia-Pacific region. Our Board of Trustee delegation is here to celebrate the 30th anniversary of the Asia Foundation's office here in Nepal. And over those 3 decades, the Asia Foundation has been a contributor to innovations in a variety of areas, social innovation, support for policy solutions, work on community-based mediation, work on creating multi-stakeholder dialogues. So both in the social arena, the political and policy arena, and in the economic arena, innovation has been a major component and driving element of our work here. Let me give you just a few examples. In 2019, the foundation helped to seed and support a disaster information management system called BiPAD, which has come a long way in developing solutions to prepare and respond to times of disaster, such as Nepal experienced in 2015 with a major earthquake. Drawing on data from remote sensing, GIS, and open source data, and also promoting science and technology to advance communication and information dissemination. All of this has been a part of the BiPAD innovation. And as a result, it's created a national portal that's embedded with independent platforms for national, provincial, and municipal governments to respond rapidly and to anticipate disasters as they take place. Foundations also supported innovative solutions such as a mobile phone application called Shubha Yatra, which is designed to encourage safe migration for Nepali migrant workers migrating to other Asian and Middle Eastern countries. I've mentioned already the Let's Read digital library for children's local language books. And earlier it was mentioned that the Foundation has been an active supporter and participant in the National Innovation Digital Network. And one of the innovations that grew out of that network during the COVID crisis was called Mission Oxygen Tank, which helped provide basic information on the availability of ICU beds, trained engineers that can help fix and install life-saving equipment, collect data on the availability of the equipment, and fix and install oxygen tanks as they were needed across Nepal. The Foundation continues to support Mission Oxygen Team, working with the Ministry of Health and Population to help make the system even more robust and user-friendly. And on the human capital front, through a variety of programs are Asia Foundation Development Fellows, Lead Next, which is a program for next generation emerging leaders from across Asia, our scholarships for women in STEM. The foundation is really helping to support the next generation of innovators and leaders that are really going to carry this agenda forward. So in summary, going forward, we're committed to improving lives and expanding opportunities here in Nepal by strengthening the innovation ecosystem that helps give business opportunities to take risks, the government a role to create an enabling environment, and provide support for the scientists and innovators to create disruptive but innovative solutions. Before closing, I just want to say a word of thanks to the cohorts and partners for this first conference, our friends at NAST, the Robotics Association of Nepal, and NACSA, and of course our sponsors for this effort, UKAID, USAID, and the government of Nepal. So without further ado, let me turn the podium over, and I look forward to the conversations that will be taking place here over the next several hours. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir, as well as a big thank you to the Asia Foundation for being a big support. Thank you so much. And ladies and gentlemen, it's a pleasure for me to go ahead and invite on the podium, one in turn to our chief guest, Honorable Minister of Education, Science and Technology, Shishir Khanna. Please put your hands together.
Thank you, Sanjay. The chairperson of the session, Secretary of NAST, Secretary of Ministry of Science, Education, Science and Technology, dignitaries, academicians, young innovators, scientists, development partners, our international delegates. It's such a pleasure to be here with you this morning, especially at a very early stage of my role. It's just been about a week since I've assumed office as the Minister of Science and Technology, and I'm in the process of understanding how to become a minister in Nepal. In that stage, just to be at a space where we're thinking about innovation, future, and moving forward. Those are the things that excite me, and to come to be with the people who are thinking about these things at this stage of my role, I think will shape my career, both in politics but also in the ministry. So for that, I want to express my gratitude to the organizers. I feel that Nepal and countries like Nepal are in interesting crossroads. In the public health, there is a term called double burden. And I think in the context of Nepal, the double burden applies to education as well. What I mean by that is at a place, oftentimes when we talk about innovation, we're always thinking about future technologies. We're talking about AI, we're talking about big data, we're talking about Internet of Things. But the truth is, we're at a space where I was being briefed about, and having worked in education for last decade or so, I'm also fully aware that only about 8% children in the grade 5 are learning at their grade level. As David mentioned earlier, only about 38% people in Nepal have access to internet. Many of our rural communities do not have access to basic electricity. Therefore, from that space, from that reality, we have to think about these emerging technology, nanotechnology, space science, and all that. And that place is a place to be humbling, but at the same time, I feel what is there, the reality, and what is possible. This is both exciting, but that's the space of innovation. That's, I think, where this community of innovators, community of scientists, community of entrepreneurs would need to come together to say that where do we stand, how far can we go, and how fast can we go. We unfortunately do not have luxury to take the same path the Western countries have. Through the process of history, I think when I look at from this space, I feel there was a bit of luxury. They didn't have to try to bridge the gap that we face today. But where at the speed that technology is moving, that's also shaping our communities, that's shaping our economy, but there's so much for us to catch up. And sort of status quo, the way we've run our governments, our communities, our societies, both in Nepal and globally, does not give us luxury anymore, given biggest challenge we're facing. We don't fully know how AI will shape the countries, the communities, and the future. We also do not know how climate change will impact our lives. And from that space, we simply need to find technologies that are right for Nepali communities. We're a country where we import almost everything we consume, from a rice to modern technologies. How do we become producer? Our challenge in front of us is how do we become producer of these things, whether it's about agricultural productions. How do we ensure that almost 500,000 people, young people who leave this country every single day to find job opportunity, we can retain them? How do we ensure that over 100,000 Nepali young people who left Nepal to study outside of Nepal, especially in Europe, America, Australia last year, how do we make sure that we can retain those talents and use that human capital for innovation to move this country forward? Those are the biggest questions that we have in front of us as I take this role. But I'm also glad that we're amongst the group of young people, mostly young people in this hall. We're coming together to ask these difficult questions in presence of leadership of NAST, in presence of our international partners, global supporters, to find solutions to some of these most difficult questions. And I think the conference, the first conference on innovation, it's so rightfully organized at this point. And the ministry has already a policy in place on national science and technology. We're currently working on an action plan, and I'm really hoping that this conference will provide inputs so that we can align our current action plan, the draft action plan, so that we can move that forward in a few weeks' time. I would have loved to stay in the conference throughout the day, but I have parliamentary duties this afternoon, so I'll probably miss most of the session, but I look forward to catching up later in the afternoon to hear the summary of the discussion and how we can take what you've discussed today and create a national action plan to create an environment for innovation, create an ecosystem where we can support our scientists, innovators, and scale entrepreneurs' business ideas. Thank you again to the organizers. I end today with the hope that this conference becomes the beginning where we can take the ideas of innovation, have a broader conversation about innovations, and create solutions to some of the biggest problems we're facing in Nepal today. Thank you.
I'd like to go ahead and thank the Honourable Minister, as well as I still remember. I just want to go ahead and say 2 words. I still remember the conversation we had before your election, during when we sat down for the podcast, and we had a brief conversation at that time. And I still remember the promise that a day is going to come when we'll spend more time together, and I'd love to take your maybe an hour of your time on a holiday. शनिबारको दिन मोस्ट प्रोबेबली बिहान तक हजुर फ्री भएको बेलामा अर्को एउटा 1 घण्टा पाएँ भने चाहिँ अन्य धेरै प्रश्नहरू चाहिँ सोध्ने मौका मैले त्यो समयमा अनि पाउँथेँ होला, र अहिले हजुरले भने जस्तै राइट ठाउँमा हुनुहुन्छ, र आइ एम स्योर त्यो जुन अघि नै मिनिस्टरले भन्दा भन्दै हामीले ब्लू प्रिन्टको कुराकानी एउटा उहाँले अलिकति राख्नु भएको थियो, जसरी रोड म्याप र ब्लू प्रिन्ट जुन आज बन्छ त्यसले भोलि मात्र होइन, त्यसले 1 वर्ष मात्र होइन, अब दशक डेकेड्स माथि डेकेड्स चाहिँ हामीले चाहिँ यङ जेनेरेसनलाई चाहिँ र अबाउन्ड जेनेरेसनलाई चाहिँ सेप गर्न सक्छौँ जस्तो लाग्छ. Honorable Minister, best wishes to you from our side as well, and again, love to get more of your time in the future. I was just notified that we will be presenting a token of love to our chief guest along with our other dignitaries. So I'd like to go ahead and request the NAS team to kindly help me with that, as well as I'd like to go ahead and request Ravindra sir if you could support me in this, and we'd like to go ahead and conclude shortly. And then we'll head on towards the panel discussions throughout the day. Yes, sir. No problem, no problem. I'd like to go ahead and request the NAS team to get the token of appreciation so that we could present it to our chief guest, and then of course we'll head on towards our other dignitaries as well. One more time, भर्खरै हामीलाई चाहिँ यो समयमा प्रत्यक्ष रूपमा डिजिटल माध्यमहरू मार्फत अथवा टेलिभिजन रेडियो मार्फत हामीले यो समयमा सुन्दै हुनुहुन्छ भने फर्स्ट नेशनल इनोभेसन कन्फरेन्स 2023 मा चाहिँ हामी छौँ, र आज दिनभरि थ्रु आउट द डे अलिकति रिक्याप गर्दै हामी प्यानल डिस्कसन्स तर्फ चाहिँ केही समयमा लाग्नेछौँ. अहिलेको लागि I'd like to go ahead and request the NAS team. There you go. We have the tokens ready, and we will head on towards it as we move along. I'd like to go ahead and request Ravindra sir, will you help me with this? हुन्छ बाइलिङ्गुल लगाउनु भन्ने हो, ल हुन्छ यसपछिको मा आइज हुन्छ
पहिला सचिवज्यूको महेश कुमार अधिकारी
रेडी
उहाँले चाहिँ अरूलाई सेक्रेटरी कताबाट सुरु चाहिँ डेभिड अर्नेल्डबाट सुरु गरौँ.
कताबाट डेभिड होइन चिफ मिनिस्टरबाट सुरु गरौँ.
चिफ मिनिस्टरबाट सुरु गरौँ, त्यसपछि उहाँहरूको डेलिगेट
यता बसौँ अनि मलाई भने त ready?
You have to do this guest as well.
Who?
So this one as well. Guest. Just you do, just in case you
What is this?
This is a guest.
Okay.
So
who do you want me to? How do you want me to say it?
Preeti,
Do you want to come that side?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So David, start from David.
No, I'll start from the chief guest.
Okay.
Sorry, I'll start from the chief guest.
You have to
Ready? Yeah.
Preeti and Caroline भयो. Preeti and Caroline पनि आयो.
Just 1 second, please. I'd like to go ahead and request Secretary of NAS, Dr. Mahesh K. Adhikari, to kindly help me present the token of love to starting off with our chief guest, Honorable Minister of Education, Science and Technology, Shishir Khanna.
अनि दुईजनाको किनोट स्पिकर
Okay, अब यसपछि भन्दै जानु यसपछि कसलाई
त्यस पछाडि
I'd like to go ahead and request Dr. Adhikari to kindly present the token of love to David Arnold, the President of and CEO of the Asia Foundation.
त्यसपछि यही सिरिजमा जाउँ यही सिरिजमा छ डेभिड अर्नल्डको
होइन होइन ऊ गरौँ न म्यामलाई दिनु सेक्रेटरीलाई दिनु कि नदिनु
लिँदा भयो
हुन्छ यसपछि I'd like to go ahead and invite Sherry Arnold, if you could kindly join us.
Sherry Arnold.
Yes, I have a
Ryan Haas.
Ryan Haas, if you could kindly join us. We have we'd love to have you right here with us. Thank you so much, sir. Ambassador Robert Blick, Ambassador, right?
Ambassador.
Oh.
Former Ambassador.
I'd like to go ahead and request Ambassador Robert Bleak, if you could kindly join us as well as Sophia Bleakman, if you could kindly join us as well. I'd like to say this right before. If I pronounce your name incorrectly, I apologize for that. I'd like to go ahead and invite Shing Eikenberry. I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. She's not here with us. Megan Nalbo, if you could kindly join us. If you could I'd like to go ahead and request Tim Coaches, if you could kindly join us. And apologies if I pronounce it incorrectly. I'd like to request Deanne Ware, if you could kindly join us. Ruby Hang, I believe, if you could kindly join us, ma'am. Thank you so much.